Hi everyone. So here I have sketched an equilateral triangle, and we're told that a side of it measures 8 centimeters. Well, because it's an equilateral triangle, we know that all the sides in fact measure 8 centimeters. And we are asked to find the height of this triangle. So the height lies somewhere around here. There's our height. Let's just draw a line. Okay, so something like that. So how do we find that measure? Well, if you kind of look at this equilateral triangle as two triangles split into two, then we can put a right angle here, knowing that the height is perpendicular to the base, and we can just consider one of these triangles. Let's look at this one here on the right. So what measures do we have and which measures do we need? Well, we have this length here. It's 8 centimeters. What about this length here? Well, that's just half of the base. We knew that this length here was 8 centimeters, so we'll know that this length here is half, so it's 4. And now we just have to find the missing length, which is the height. So in terms of our Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, what are our known variables and which ones are unknown variables? Well, I know the length of the hypotenuse. That's the side that is sitting opposite the right angle always. So that is my c. So I'll know that I can plug in 8 for c. And then I also know the length of one of the sides that's attached to the right angle. I know 4. And then I'm missing one. Let's put that one for A. Okay, so I'm just going to rearrange this in terms of subtraction so that I have my unknown variable sitting on its own. So A squared is equal to 8 squared minus 4 squared. 8 squared is 64. 4 squared is 16. So A squared is equal to 48. And we will take the square root of both sides in order to find the value of A. Now, unfortunately, 48 is not a perfect square. 49 is, but 48 is not. So we cannot express it as a single integer. In fact, there is no way to express it exactly unless we leave it in this form. A equals 48, square root of 48. But if you like, you can plug it into your calculator and get an approximation, which will be something like 6.93. So if you look at your initial triangle here, and we just figured out that this side here, the height is approximately 6.93 centimeters. That does make sense in terms of this triangle. And you always want to make sure when you find your answer to look at the triangle that you just figured out and ask yourself, do these numbers make sense? Always make sure that the hypotenuse is the longest one. And this looks good to me.